on this episode of Bot vs. Con.
Welcome back, Transformers fans, to another thrilling episode of Bot vs. Con. And look, we are in the same room, and we're dressed up like the, what's that called? The subject of today's video. So we'll be looking at Mecha Invasions, the last two, which are Excavator and Bulldozer.
Such creative names.
Very creative. So we are here at TFCon doing reviews for you. So we hope you really like it, and we will be right back and start off with this review.
Very interesting.
This is the Devastator Wars. Make sure to subscribe and consider becoming a member.
Okay, then we can just keep going. It's not really stopping it. 3, 2, 1, and we're back. So over here we have number 5, Excavator. Yes, I have to remember which one's which. And what do you think? Since you actually saw these in hand, these came in before I came, and I was able to bring them. Yours, I think, were delivered today.
Yes.
What do you think of this figure?
I have not handled it in robot mode.
Go ahead.
But so selfish over here. It looks good. I really like the purple in the legs. I'm sitting here trying to see here.
It's a different purple.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I really like the purple in the legs. It looks better, I think, in person than it did online. I think it looks really good. I know I'm sitting here, holding it. I'm being selfish myself here. I think it looks really good.
And it cleans up really well as well.
Yeah, and I think it cleans up really, really nice. I think this is a very good figure from what I can tell. I didn't transform it or anything, so this is literally handing me like an action figure almost. This looks really good. I would.
So with the scoop, you can put it more of a G1 formation like this, if you want. But I don't like this gap right here, especially right behind his head. So, and these don't look G1 already, so it could just be like that. You have options, which is nice. And you can also give him a helmet.
We're not going to give him a helmet.
You could give him a helmet if you want to give him a helmet. Don't let Bobby tell you what to do.
I just wish that this was a little lower. That's what I was actually.
Yeah, I agree. I wish that if that was another joint, where it could maybe go down and fold up or something like that.
That's my complaint.
I agree. So for articulation, he has a normal ball joint. The arms go out 90 degrees. There's a bicep swivel right here. Single jointed elbow, but you could get almost and everything you really want. You don't really want more than that. The hands are on a swivel, which makes the what's that called? The Mixmaster the only one that doesn't have swivel hands, which is a bit of a what's that called? A bit sad. Way swivel. The legs are ratcheted, which are interesting because they don't use them in combined mode. So I'm like, why are they ratcheted? When you think about it, those are where the feet, but not the best outward movement just because of how they work. But it could go forward and back fine. He has a thigh swivel, amazing bend, even though the proportions are a little wrong for a human, but these aren't humans, so whatever. Knees are die cast. You can see kind of that shine. Mm-hmm. Again, weird place to put die cast, but it's fine. And then I can't speak. I'm tired too. We've got a ankle swivel as well as a what's that called? Ankle tilt. And if you do untransform it a little bit, you can get a slight ab crunch. It looks weird though. I wouldn't recommend it. It just doesn't work well. So okay articulation, not the best, especially in the legs, but not bad. And the guns are different between the two. So this one has 2 barrels and is a little bit different on the top. So that's neat. The eyes do light up still. I had a heck of a time trying to get this to work because the magnet is at the bottom, which is not ideal. See, there we go. See, so the eyes do light up just like all the other ones, and they're just gonna stay on. But yeah, so I think this bot mode is pretty good. We'll see about the alt mode, but I don't really have any complaints too much. It falls in line with the rest of them. Not my favorite out of the set, but I think it's okay.
Can I see? So something that I just noticed, and
There we go.
I'm going to...
Nitpick?
Yes.
Okay, what's up?
So we talked about this side and how that gap right there, which I don't like either.
The thing I don't like about it is that these are pistons and they're just half of a piston.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
But something I saw, and I'm going to be fair here, there looks like there's some waffling going on right here. You see?
Oh, right there? Yeah.
Yeah. Oops.
They don't like you talking bad about these guys.
I'm telling you, they're hitting me up now. I don't remember seeing that on any of the others. I'm not saying that it's not there or it is there, but I know I've killed Hasbro for waffling, and so I'm going to be fair. That was unexpected.
Yeah. It's not the best, but at the same time, it's at a place where I don't think you're really going to see it. It's not like the whole back, like some figures.
Yeah. I'm just,
You're being fair.
Being fair.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Once in your life, you're fair. Next up,
fair is a place they judge pigs.
6, which is Bulldozer, and the thing that stood out to me, I'm not going to go over articulation because it's the same between the two, but these knee joints really restrict the thigh rotation.
Oh, the knee pads.
There you go. You really have to move them all the way up, and then they can
that
go.
bar comes down over them.
Which is not ideal. But overall, I do think this bot mode is a little bit cleaner, probably because of the what it is. But this angle is a little strange. Instead of being like straight, I guess you could do that, but then you get a gap. I forgot to mention this on him. I do like the heads on how they each have lights. Like he has a little light over his eye. I don't think that's normal for Scavenger. And then he has the headlamp. It's just a little different, which makes sense with this set, to have everything a little different. But the paint on this one is good as well. It's not a very boring Scavenger. There's still the black.
Bulldozer.
It's the Bone Crusher, sorry. He doesn't have the green treads and stuff. It's a little bit more colorful, which I do prefer. So all in all, I think it is a good figure. Feels the same. I mean, you could go ahead and feel him, but...
no Diddy.
So, and again, different gun. He has like a rail gun, which is cool. So,
yeah, I like the gun. I don't like this head. I don't like the lamp on his head, and I get why they did it, but it kind of gives me the whole human thing again. I like the sensor on the side versus it looking like he put something on and needed a flashlight. So I'm just nitpicking again with that. But I like the details. We didn't talk about this as much on that one, but I like the details in the. Let me lift this up. In the thighs and stuff, just the
treads.
The molded detail.
Yeah, like in the
legs,
move or whatever
in the legs
called.
and stuff like that, all the way down here. I really like that, the way that looks, and that's something that that they've done a lot with their figures just in general.
Definitely
is really good molded detail. I like the colors in the chest as well. That looks pretty good to break up the green. It's not a lot, but just that little bit of red pops enough on the chest and the silver to give it some relatability to actually being a robot and having some different functions and stuff going on.
Also, the visor that he has that's in silver, I don't know if that's on the G1 figure at all, but I do like that. Just like the little visor, having that pop of silver kind of differentiates him from all of his other peers. So, all in all, it's an okay figure. I didn't think these were going to be the best, these two, and we'll get into the final thoughts later. So I think that's all for the bot modes. I guess we'll have some pictures on screen showing it with the other ones that have come out, and we'll just move on to the vehicle modes.
Let's do it.
And we are back, and here he is. I'm just going to call him Scavenger, just make it easy. So I guess we do have to talk about articulation with this figure. So this does move just like you would expect it to, and it does swivel. Doesn't look amazing because it is, just a peg, but it does move. Like I think we said, we don't like that gap, especially since these are like pistons, so they should be round and they're not. I don't understand this thing. Maybe I haven't put it into combine mode, so maybe this has something to do with that, but it's not my favorite. But I really don't like the shape of this. This is not what I would think of like an excavator. It's too rectangular. And when we get into its mold mate, it makes sense that I believe they did the mold mate first and then remolded that one into this one. But it's not horrible. It does have all the decals you would expect from Mecha Invasion with the caution tape. You know, I know people didn't like the silver scoop, but it's fine. It's different. This whole set's different, so I'm okay with that. Like Bobby said, the purple treads look good and they are well detailed. Now it is hard to get them to stay closed because that is where the knee bends, and it is kind of weird from this side to see the hinges from right here. But overall, not horrible. You could barely see the 5 on the screen. But what do you think of this alt mode?
So similar to the things that you picked out, but what I really don't like, if I may,
go ahead, of course.
This is just too small. It looks like it's so small, and then you have all this wasted space back here. And I feel like they could have done something. I don't know. They
I feel like this part needed to come up and be up here or something.
Something.
Because you know how they're more compact?
Yeah. Or I would even like if you're gonna have all this space, make the gun peg up here. So at least then you're it's looking like storage and you have this retail space.
Because the gun does peg under the bottom and covers up the head. So it is actually very good weapon storage.
Yeah.
But that does make sense. Make something up here.
Yeah, so you can kind of, something that goes up there to eat up some of that real estate, because otherwise it just looks like I can be standing back here hanging out.
And you could.
Yeah.
Moving on to Bulldozer or Bone Crusher, and I think this is the original version of this mold because this one looks very nice, in my opinion. I love the little smokestack here. And here, the shape of this, like it's slightly curved, but not very curved. It's very subtle. It's very nice. Has a lot of paint on it. I really do like this vehicle mode. I mean, it has some of the same problems with the knees going over and it not closing all the way. But all in all, I'm actually happy with this.
I like this one as well. I like the silver paint around the front, right here.
Oh.
I like how they, instead of just making it green, they add the silver to give us some additional details. You can see 06 on the side here. So
and here.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
It's just hard to see because I feel like they needed to do black or something than white.
Yeah. You see it in person, but because there's also a 6 on the back here.
Yeah, but you can see that because that's on silver.
Yeah, you can see that one. So yeah, but yeah, this is my favorite mold as well out of the two. It looks great. This is the size that should have been on that one if you want to even show it.
I think they could have even used the same thing, because if you look, it could be like right there. Maybe have this offset over here or something and it slide over. I don't know. I'm not a toy designer, but they definitely could, I think, have done something. This looks much more full.
Yes.
And so
it looks very sturdy. It looks very proportioned.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that we'll get into our final thoughts now. What do you think of this set? Now, this is just this set. We will be doing Devastator when we have it combined, and we're able to talk about that in itself.
You mean when we're not at TFCon in a hotel?
Correct.
Hanging out? Okay.
Yeah.
This is probably my least favorite set out of the 3 sets. I think they did a great job with Bone Crusher. Scavenger in alt mode doesn't do it for me. I think it's definitely the weakest out of all the sets. But Bone Crusher is carrying the set to me. The bot mode they both look really good. I like the purple legs on Scavenger. I really like the way that looks, and I like that they did the green legs and the purple legs, so you can see that it's the same mold, but they did some things differently, at least color-wise. So this is probably my least favorite set out of the 3 sets, but Bone Crusher is probably one of my favorites out of all the sets.
That's funny. Yeah. I have to agree. I think this alt mode is great. The bot mode, I think, suffers just because of the articulation limitations from what they did with it. But I feel like they should have released these not as a set. Like he should have came with Long Haul, and he should have came with Hook. That way you don't get fatigue, because like you get both of them and you're like, okay, I already know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I wish that it was more space between them, because it's kind of like a leftover set. Okay, you get it, you're done. Like, I feel like they needed to space them out more. But I agree, this is my least favorite set. I thought it was going to be my least favorite set. If you watch our news, I still think that, but they're not bad. I wouldn't say he's my favorite of all of them. Maybe of the alt modes, because this alt mode is really good. Yeah. But the bot modes on both of these leave a little bit for me to be desired compared to the other ones. And we'll probably talk about that as a set when we get to it. But I would recommend these if you're completing the set. I would not pick these up as standalone figures. Not that anybody would, but for the price, they're right.
Yeah, and I may be having recency bias since I'm handling these right now, and I haven't touched the mecha ones since we did a review on those. Actually, since comparing them with other figures we did reviews on. So recency bias, I really like the Bone Crusher in the alt mode. I think it looks really unique. I think, as you said, as standalone figures, definitely, skip it, unless you also like these types of vehicles. But as the set, I'm just happy we finally have a Devastator completed. That's what I'm really excited about. I can't wait to get home so we can actually do a video and combine them.
Yes, and have one of the Devastator Wars done, and we'll see how it stacks up.
Yes. So one battle will be finished.
Yes, exactly.
The war's not over.
Definitely not. So stay tuned for that, and we will be back soon with a bunch of TFCon news if this comes out before of that stuff, or we've already done that, and we'll have more news and Devastator Wars coming out depending on how things roll. So we'll see you guys in the next one, and have fun at TFCon.
As always, to all debates are won. We'll see you next time.